What's up everybody, it's Dragon from Strong Dragon Training, and today and over the next couple of videos I want to dissect and take apart every single style of dumbbell narrow rows. Alright? This exercise in every case scenario that we're going to do is going to hit the lats, the latissimus dorsi, and is going to be for thickness. When you're talking about lat pull down, for example, you're talking about width, but when you're talking about rows, any kind of rows is thickness of the back. That's what you're looking for. And the back is a massive, massive muscle. More exactly, the latissimus dorsi are a pair of massive muscles, what we call the wing in the back. If you guys have ever seen a bodybuilding show, when you see the guys go in wide like this and the back just opening up, those are your lats, your latissimus dorsi. And today we're going to start with a very basic. If you guys have never been in a gym before, or if you have been in the gym and you're now studying to become a personal trainer or anything like that, the very first day you go into that classroom, when you open the manual for the back, you'll see the bench, the bent over bench narrow dumbbell rows. I know I'm putting very, very many words in my exercises. They're generally just called dumbbell rows or bent over dumbbell rows. I like to be very descriptive in mine because I know there's so many ways of doing them out there, and there's so many styles, and they all hit the lats. They just put a different kind of pressure on the lat, of pressure on your lower back, on your core, on your arm. And the main thing about these ones is to learn how to engage your back more than your actual biceps, triceps, and deltoids. Most of the problems that I have over the years of training people is when we're doing a row, the very first thing is say, well, I feel it in my arms more than I feel in my back. What's happening here? And that is where your focus, your engagement, you gotta focus on the lats. You gotta focus on pulling your shoulder back, engaging your back, and getting your lats and your fiber to work from fully stretched to fully contracted. There's no way that you're just going through the motion. If you go into the motion, it's very normal for your body to lift something off the floor by using a bicep, by using a deltoid, by using very little of your back. You do that every day. You pick something off the floor. Or if you have kids, you pick your kids off the floor, your dogs, or anything like that. Your back is used to most of those movements, even though in some cases, when you pick something off the floor, you hear a nice big pop, and there you go, you can't straighten up anymore. But when you do a dumbbell row, the whole idea is to strengthen those lats and to make those lats work. Yes, secondary muscles, the bicep, when you're going down, you're gonna feel a little bit of a tricep holding your arm from going down, especially if you do negatives, holding your arm from going down too fast. And of course, your delts are there to move in at the shoulder level, but your lats is what needs to hit the most. So let's take today's video with just a bench dumbbell rows and see how those look like. So on the bench, this is what I mean. You have your traditional classic bench and one bench that you find anywhere in the gym, flat. What you want first and foremost is your knee to be fairly back at the edge of the bench. That's where you want your support for your hip to be. So in general, this leg that's doing the support is right underneath your hip, right? So in my case, I'm gonna put it on this portion of the bench. Boom. This is my body support on the bench. Now you don't want to stay back here and do the row. You want to put the other arm nice and on top of at the topmost part of the bench. Some people, if they're a little bit shorter, they can put it right over here. What you're looking for is for the best possible support in this one. So your whole body weight is now supported on the front arm, the leg mainly, and then your opposite leg, in my case the left leg, is just the support from not tipping over when I have the weight in my hand. So what you're trying to do on this one is always keep the back nice and straight, all right? So in my case over here, I'm trying to look forward to keep the back straight. Main problem is on this one is people look at the dumbbell, look at the foot, or just look down at the ground, and then you see my back is just starting to curve more and more. Nothing compared to this back position. So at this point, what I'm trying to do is engage the shoulder and pull it back. When your shoulder is engaged and pulled back, your lats are already working, okay? So they're already flexed, already ready for action, okay? That's when you know that you're ready to go, and most of the work is gonna come out of the lats, and the lats are gonna put in more of an effort than your bicep and your tricep will. That's when you'll feel them more, okay? So what I'm looking for over here, engage, shoulder back, pull right into the rib. Keep the elbow nice and tight next to your body and extend all the way down. Feel just a little bit of a stretch in your lats and your shoulder. Boom, you pull the shoulder back again and you engage. See how much more I'm lifting when I'm in this position over here, coming all the way up to the rib, and then boom, going back all the way down for a stretch. So 1, 2, 3. If you guys don't hear my breath, I'm breathing out as I'm coming up with the dumbbell, in as I'm going down. Now, back just a little bit to this leg over here. It doesn't necessarily need to be out super wide. It can be right next to the bench. It can be a little bit behind the bench. The whole point is you want to have good and proper support so you don't tip over and you don't have any kind of torque happening in your hip area. So these classic way of doing the bent over narrow dumbbell curls, or bench dumbbell rows rather, is the bench, foot support, leg support for the hip. You engage, shoulder back, boom, pull right into the rib. Stretch, pull right into the rib. The key component on this one is to have your shoulder pulled back, engage, and your lats ready and focused and flexed in so you can get the most out of this exercise. If your shoulder is just there doing whatever it's doing and you're just trying to get the weight up, that's when your bicep is going to kick in more, that's when your shoulder is going to kick in more, your tricep is going to kick in more. And A, you miss on development in those lats, and B, by the end of 10, 15, 20 reps, you're going to be like, my arm is killing me, my back I feel nothing, my arm is killing me. Engage the back, guys. Pull the shoulder back and then pull in as much as possible. Flex that. It's like you're trying to do this with your back the entire time. Those shoulder blades need to be pulled backwards. That's where your shoulder comes into play. Pull back and reverse, or rather pull in the weight right next to the ribs. All right, so what do you think, guys? Did that make sense to you all? I'm sure that if you've been into the gym, you've seen this exercise done over and over and over again, and it's one of the safest way to do it with free weights. Obviously, the safest way is to be on the machine or maybe to be on the cable with the V-bar row, but if you're going to go with the free weights, if you're going to do it with without any kind of support, any kind of proper watch or over, these things are the safest way to do it. So what you need to take away from the previous frame that I had is your back needs to stay straight. I cannot emphasize this enough, that your back has to stay. You cannot curve the back. If you don't feel your back curving down when you look, maybe sometimes you want to check. Me personally, when I do them, I tend to check, okay, is my foot in a good position? Is my arm okay? I like to look around, but I know because I can feel my back and I can feel if my back is curving too much or doing anything weird. But in your case, I always encourage look up, look in front of you, look ahead. Keep your head up and your chest forward so that you be sure to keep that back safe and straight. Another little point that I always remind my clients to do is if you feel just a little bit of strain, a little bit, I can't emphasize that enough, a little bit of strain slash pinch slash pressure in your lower back as you're trying to keep the chest out. That's when you know that your erector spinae, or the muscles that go right by the sides of your spine, are engaged in keeping everything straight and tight. Your stomach needs to be tucked in, your core engaged, and you're focusing on the exercise, not on what you're gonna have for dinner in a couple of hours. You're gonna focus on the exercise. The other thing is, so that's number one, your back. Number two, your elbow cannot flare out. You saw in that video, I kept on emphasizing the elbow has to stay close to your body. Whole narrow row idea. It's a narrow row. Your elbow goes out, you're working a different muscle. You've just killed the whole point of the exercise. So be careful, keep everything so that your elbow is scraping by the side of your body as your dumbbell goes into your rib. Number three, your shoulder. If you want to feel your lats while you're doing this exercise, if you don't want to just waste your time while you're doing this exercise, the shoulder needs to be back and engaged every time the dumbbell is coming up, and then just a little bit of disengagement so you can stretch when the dumbbell is going down. But by bringing your shoulder back like this, you automatically allow your scapula or your shoulder blade to come back, okay? So if this is the front of the person, this is the back of the person, in between you have the scapula, it goes back and down just a little bit, and that's when you know your lats are engaged. They get flexed, they get engaged, and they work throughout, and you feel at the end, you feel the burn. The shoulder is very important. That's always my cue for everybody. From a back point of view, you pull the shoulders back. Sometimes it looks weird, sometimes it feels weird, especially the first time you're doing it, it'll feel very, very weird. But trust me, the further back that shoulder is, the better you engage your lats. Now also, on the shoulder topic, make sure the shoulder doesn't go up and back. You're not trying to shrug up and get a cramp in your neck or in your trapeze or anything like that. Simple pull back. Nothing else, no fancy stuff needed than this. You just pull back with the shoulder, okay? Breathing. You breathe out as you bring the dumbbell to your ribs, and then you breathe in as the dumbbell goes out. Every time you exert or you put pressure on your muscle, you breathe out. You breathe in as the dumbbell goes back down. So you gotta be very, very careful on how you do this one. Keep your breathing steady, keep your focus on the exercise, keep your focus on the muscle. So like I said, guys, that is all for today. I'm not going to show you all there because there are so many. I can talk here for hours. But in my next video, I'm going to cover another way of doing these dumbbell rows. And this is where I'm going to get into the tips and tricks on how you can change your workouts a little bit, make them more interesting, and kind of shock your muscle more and more and more as you do. Because doing them just on the bench like I did it before, it's great. It's an amazing exercise. It's perfect for a beginner. For a beginner, that's all I recommend. If you're a beginner, learn this video first before you go to my next ones, okay? I do these ones as well, don't get me wrong, but there are so many other ways to work the same muscle. And believe me, even though you're working the same muscle, because the position you're in, because of how your body is positioned, how it's engaged, things like that, you are going to shock that muscle. Your muscle's not going to be used to that whole idea. So I hope this video was helpful for you guys. I hope you learned something new, but for the people that are more used to the gym, are gym rats and things like that, this was old news. For all you new people out there, if you have any kind of questions, if you are not sure about what I did or something is not clear, please leave me a comment below this video. I'll answer as soon as I can, or if it's needed, I'll redo the video and I'll explain it better and better and better. My name is Dragos from Strong Dragon Training. Push until you hit a wall and then break through it. I'll catch you guys on my next video.